What's up, everyone? I am in Kroger right now, and I decided to do a video on how to go grocery shopping. When I'm shopping, I see a lot of people just kind of put things in their cart without really looking at the ingredients, or just mindlessly throwing things in their cart without looking at the ingredients. So I figure I'll just come in here and do a quick little video. So one of the biggest things you really need to worry about when you're going grocery shopping is if your food is organic or not, or non-GMO. There's a lot of things that go on with that. Like, for instance, farms that are organic, they don't get the support that from the government that farms who are inorganic. And if you don't know that the difference between the two is kind of major, like, for instance, it's kind of obvious. I think most people know by now, but vegetables, produce, fruits, all that stuff in organic farms are, they stay on the vine until they're actually ready to fall off or be harvested. And they aren't sprayed with pesticides and all this other stuff in the soil. GMO, on the other hand, is pumped with different, well, first of all, GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. And what they do is they're taking genes from other things and putting them into the food to have it's basically unnatural as hell, but they're putting these things into the food so that the fruit or the food can have, how would you say, desirable properties that they want the food to have. For instance, strawberries, non-organic strawberries, like these right here, these kind of strawberries are actually injected with like a fish gene from like deep in the ocean, so that the strawberry is good in like frost and stuff like that. But anyways, that's just not natural. And genetically modified foods, period, has a number of side effects. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about was all these juices that a lot of people get that think they're healthy, but they're really not. A lot of these juices, like for instance, these right here. This juice right here, if you look at the back, it's just pumped with all kind of stuff that's just not natural. And you can see that it doesn't have a non-GMO excuse me, it doesn't have like a non-GMO sticker like some of these do. Now, if you don't know about the naked juices, which are these right here, Pepsi actually owns them, and they've been fined a lot of times, millions of dollars, for advertising as all natural, but they're really not all natural. But yeah, so pretty much stay away from all of this. Just don't get it. It's pretty simple. So all these grapes that say seedless, that is genetically modified. It is very natural for fruits to have seeds so they can continue to, reproduce themselves. If you're eating anything that's seedless, it's completely genetically modified and unhealthy for you. So I don't put anything in my body unless it has a non-GMO or organic sticker on it. And I've been doing that for about a year now, and I've noticed a big improvement in my health. More energy, more focused, no bloating. I'm also plant-based. I don't know if you guys know that. I don't think I mentioned that because I was going to wait to do a video about, going vegan or tips on having or living plant-based. So another thing that I wanted to touch on was that if you have a steady income, like a good job, there's really no reason for you to not eat organic or, invest in your health. It's really the only thing that we have is our health, you know what I mean? Not only does GMO have so many negative effects on the human body, I actually have it listed, hold on. Some of the negative effects of GMO foods are infertility, food allergies and sensitivities, increased risk of antibiotic resistance, brain congestion issues, mood disorders, anxiety and depression, weakened immunity, accelerated aging, sleep disorder, digestive problems, fatigue. A lot of these GMOs that they're putting in food, like I said, they're not natural to the human body, so when it enters your system, the body doesn't know what to do with it, you know what I mean? Overweight and obesity. Genetic problems, it's literally an attack on your DNA and your mind, your physical body, everything. Changes in the liver, kidney, spleen. Changes in the liver, kidney, spleen, and gastrointestinal system. I can't read, but yeah. So when I go shopping, this is pretty much the area that I hang out in. Everybody in Kroger knows me. I think that's like the only friends that I have are the people who stock the produce and like cashiers, because I come here almost every day. Since I'm eating plant-based, all of my food is fresh. So when I go grocery shopping, I'm not stocking my cart with a whole bunch of stuff that lasts forever because I primarily eat fresh. I understand why people don't want to eat organic, and it's mainly because of the price. But you have to think about all the things that you're putting into your body, all the things that you're spending your money on. You know what I mean? The thing you should be doing is, like I said earlier, investing in your health. So while I'm here in the produce aisle, I wanted to quickly touch on alkaline diets and how it kind of is a trend or whatever, but it's really not a trend. It's the secret to being healthy and free of diseases. So if you don't know, all diseases start in the gut. Everything, it doesn't matter if it's a mental disorder, a physical disorder, they all form in the gut, right? Because food that is not alkaline is very acidic, and when you intake acidic food, basically it causes mucus, and that's where the disease and the viruses come from. They exist in mucus. So it's very important to look up like the alkaline food list. I don't know if you know who Dr. Sebi is, but he passed away while he was helping millions around the world try to live a better, healthy lifestyle. Avocados, tomatoes, onions, those are some really, also green bell peppers, very, very alkaline. It's like way up there on the pH level. If you don't know, like I said, the alkaline food list or pH levels, you can find that information pretty easily on Google. So being plant-based, I had to find an alternative for milk, and that was pretty simple. One of my favorite things to get is oat milk, almond milk, extremely healthy for you. Like cows, like cow milk, that shit is not natural. It's for cows. Another thing that's really good is if you get these kombuchas right here. This is probably like my favorite one, but it contains probiotics, which is basically in live bacteria to help like heal your gut health. It's really good for you. But yeah, this is pretty much the healthiest aisle, or the healthiest part of the store, and I really spent a lot of time here reading the back of ingredients and everything like that. Dates are extremely healthy. That's another thing you have to understand, is that there's so much that doesn't go on the back of the nutrition facts. Like, for example, maple syrup, like real grade A maple syrup or real organic, grade A honey. They don't tell you that those two things are one of the most healthiest things you can put into your body, And it's the same way with food that doesn't have the non-GMO label on it. They don't have to tell you some of these things that are in it. If you're somebody who's thinking about going plant-based, one thing to keep in mind is just because you are a vegan or plant-based, whatever you want to call it, doesn't mean that person is healthy. And the prime example would be, if you look behind me, there's like a whole bunch of meat replacement products. This is all processed food still, and that's what we're trying to get away from, if you go plant-based. Generally, you want to stay away from it. There are a few things that I might have every once in a while, but like I said, I'm extremely picky, and I'm really looking at the back of the ingredients. But for the most part, you have to stay away from all this processed plant-based stuff. Like, look at this. Doesn't mean it's healthy for you. It's still processed. So I used to eat these all the time. They're protein cookies. They're non-GMO, and they're actually really good, but I don't get them anymore. And the main reason is sugar is one of the most acidic things you can put into your body, and this has a lot of added sugars, so that's not good for you at all. And that's how they kind of try to get you, oh, it's non-GMO, you know what I mean? But if you look at the back of the ingredients, it has added sugars or artificially sweetened. So it's really important to look at the ingredients like all the time. If you ever have a craving for something sweet, what I do recommend is chocolate and real chocolate. One that I always get is this one right here. It's vegan, of course, no dairy. It's 70% cacao, and if you know anything about the brand Hershey, that's not even real chocolate. Like, their chocolate contains maybe 5%, 10% cacao. Everything else is just completely artificial sweeteners, preservatives, and GMO. Extremely unhealthy for you. This one right here, this one's 88% cacao. Like, that's extremely good for you. One of my chips that I really like to get are these right here. They are plant-based, organic. Yeah, they're really healthy. They have a lot of protein in them. I think one bag of those chips is like 20 grams of protein. And now this is the worst aisle of all. So one thing to keep in mind is that, one, meat is extremely acidic as hell. It's not natural to the body. We're not supposed to be eating meat. We've just been lied to, programmed, conditioned to consume meat, but it's not healthy at all. If you look at all these cancer associations, diabetes associations, they're all sponsored by the same people. It's all about money. Tyson and all these other, Johnsonville, all these other Smithfield meat people. Hot dogs, extremely unhealthy. Just stay away from that. Another thing to keep in mind is that the reason why a lot of these meats are red is because they're pumping preservatives and all that shit to keep it red, because a lot of this food has been dead already for like a whole week. First of all, meat has no vibration anyway, so that shit is just extremely unhealthy. If you're eating this kind of meat, pretty much all these animals are injected with hormones, steroids, all kinds of crazy stuff, and who knows what, to make them grow faster, whatever. It's just completely unhealthy for you, you know what I mean? And if you want to get more spiritual based, these animals feel, they feel pain, they can cry. In India, cows are so close to their owners that if something happens to the owner, the cow will actually shed a tear. You know what I mean? It has a really strong sense of emotions. Now, when you're eating something like that, it's just not good for you. So you are what you eat. If you are eating dead animals and you want to feel alive, then you have to really rethink that concept, that mindset. You can't eat something dead and expect to feel good or feel alive, you know what I mean? So I highly recommend that you stay away from meat, or at least cut back on it extremely. Even if you see something that says cage free, if you ever look at PETA, which a lot of people don't want to do because they trying to avoid the truth, just because it's cage free doesn't mean it's in a good condition or living environment. Like, they'll just be in a big ass barn with feces everywhere, other dead birds just laying around. That's cage free. It doesn't make it any better, you know what I mean? So if you're trying to get your protein intake, one of the best things I recommend, no, you're good. One of the best things I recommend is getting some beans. My favorite one being lentils. So in these lentils,
I'll show you, babe. Come on.
A quarter cup contains 9 grams of protein, which is a lot. So this is going to have to be part 1 because I'm definitely not going to be able to finish this. I have like 10 minutes left. But I was saying that those lentils and other beans are a very good source of protein, natural, from the earth. You have to remember that the cow, the whatever kind of meat you're eating, they all eat seeds, they all eat plants. And then you're going to eat them for protein, and you're just getting that secondhand protein along with GMO and a whole bunch of other unhealthy, stuff. So I highly recommend you not eat the meat. So one of the main reasons why people want to eat meat, or they feel like they can't quit it, is because they want the protein, and they think that, I lift weights, I work out, I gotta have protein, I gotta eat my chicken. See, that's just a cycle, and that's kind of how they get people on the whole bodybuilding world, is thinking that you need to eat chicken and beef, pork, all those things to get protein, but it's not true. One of my favorite things that I do every morning, every night, sometimes midday, is drink herbal tea. Different kind of teas for different, treatments or whatever, remedy. Obviously, you're going to want to get the ones that are organic, of course. So real quick about tea is that the actual tea is caffeinated. So you have caffeinated tea, and then you have non-caffeinated tea, which is not really tea, but we call it tea anyway. You know what I mean? It's just really herbs. So before I went plant-based, one of my favorite snacks was Flaming Hot Cheetos. And then when I kind of started waking up to all this health stuff, I came back to them and actually read the ingredients. And this is what's on the back of Flaming Hot Cheetos. Enriched cornmeal as the first ingredient. Ferrous sulfate, niacin, thiamine, mono, nitrate, riboflavin, whatever, maltodextrin, monosodium glutamate. I will never put that in my body ever again. Anyways, I have 3 minutes before I have to get out of the store. I'm going to continue this tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do it in store or out of store, but I gotta go. So yeah, that ended kind of abruptly. Like I said, I will be doing more videos like this in the future. Probably niche it down a little bit, maybe stick to one aisle, maybe stick to my favorite products. We'll see. But again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.